Ian, do you want to tell us a little bit about the supporters group that yourself and Adi have been working hard behind the scenes on, and how that works and what your plans are for the season, please?
So basically the supporters club's been reformed because Gorleston's like a family. Adi's been coming since the late 70s, and I came to my first game 2007 when I first moved up here. So we've been going home and away. The guys here have been really welcoming, both the supporters, the players, yourself, the management team. So we want to try and put something back to the club. So if we can help try and generate revenue for the club, be it through sponsorship, be it through ourselves doing events, just try to get a family feel again, because without a ground of our own and a clubhouse of our own at the moment, it's all a bit, a little bit fractured. So plans for the season going ahead are we're going to do a monthly player of the season, which will be voted on by members. We're also going to try and put a couple of events on through the year, so like a quiz night, like a racing night, maybe like a barbecue if the weather ever gets any better. So things like that. Also, what we would like to do is have like club ambassadors, so maybe get one of the first team players, one of the reserve players, and we'll find out when some of the players, when some of the volunteers' birthdays are, and even if we just get a photo and a birthday card off them, just little things like that, just to try and generate a feel-good factor.
Yeah.
So,
and what are your ambitions for the two teams, the first team and the reserves this year?
It'd be great if the reserves could push for mid-table. I think, with the travelling they've got to do and the step up in standard, I think that would be really good, because, we went to a few away games last year and home games watching the reserves, and there's definitely some talented youngsters coming through, and Ryan and Luke are doing a cracking job with them. With regards to the first team, playoffs. Year-on-year progression. I'd really like it if we could finish, in and around the playoffs. I think that'd be absolutely superb, and maybe try and bring some of the youngsters through the reserves, like Harry Hall, for example. Just a good, feel-good factor. Bring the youngsters through.
And do you feel you've been seeing that progression on the pitch and off the pitch from the club?
Yes. Yeah, most definitely. The first season at this level, especially the first half of the season, it was painful. And then second half of the season, bringing in a few senior players who've played at that level, especially Adam Tatt, who was absolutely immense, was great. And then last season again, consolidation, bringing through good players, good style of football. The boys all seem to gel. And then again this year, an improvement again, we think, in the players we've seen so far, and it all bodes well.
3 games tonight is the third game of the pre-season schedule. Any players in particular, the first team that have taken your eye?
Joe Marsden.
Tell us a bit about him and what you've seen that's impressed you.
Joe Marsden is just a leader on the pitch. He talks to the other players. He pushes them further up the pitch. There was times last year where, I felt we were defending a little bit too deep. But with someone like Joe, he's not going to let the team sort of like get stuck in their own half, and he'll keep us on the front foot. And Zach Dronfield, the little glimpses we've seen of him, I think we've got a player there.
Yeah, and let's have a look. It'd be wrong of us not to have a conversation about the chair and the vice chair in terms of their efforts to stabilise the club. Any messages to them and feedback to them from the fans? Yeah,
the fans thoroughly appreciate everything that Jamie and Gavin are doing behind the scenes for the club. Without them, I think it's safe to say we probably wouldn't have a club at this moment in time. So the fans have got a massive debt of gratitude to both of them. We can't speak highly enough of them, to be fair.
In terms of getting involved in the supporters club, can you just tell us about how you go about doing that?
Right, so at the moment we've got a Twitter feed, so that's got posts which are going out now throughout July and August, and on there we've put little jokey messages, serious messages. So we've got an email address which is on there as well, which is gorlestonfans at gmail.com. So if you are interested, the membership details will be going on there in the next couple of weeks as well. And we'll be explaining more about our 3 objectives, which are to increase the supporter base, to raise funds for the club, and to try and attract more volunteers to help the club. So that will be going out between now, July, and the first week in August.
And in terms of excitement, in terms of looking forward, where obviously the club, like most football clubs, have 2-3 year plans. What would you like to see the club try and achieve in the future?
Well, what, with the supporters club or the
supporters club?
With the supporters club. So some people are going to say this isn't a very overly sort of like impressive start, but I'd be happy if we could get 30 to 40 members in the first year. A couple of events, get everybody, first team players, reserves, under 18s, youth team, have a few events, try and create, a family feel. And then for the second year, build on that. So why can't we get 60, 70 members, which is what we would like. And then in the third year, and I would like to think we could get 90 to 100, supporters. And again, that needs to be sort of driven as well with what the guys do on the football field, because obviously football's a results business, and if we're playing good football and we're winning, people will come and watch. And then hopefully there's good news in the future, maybe.
Any messages to any local businesses that would consider getting involved in the club? What would you say to them?
Right, well, putting a business head on, I work for a company called LV Logistics, and for the last 2 years we have sponsored the Felixstowe Gorleston game. Reason being is Felixstowe's our company's head office, so without putting a little bit of money back into the clubs to help them, they're not going to be there in 5-10 years time. It's getting tougher. I mean, 2 or 3 big clubs have gone to the wall recently, like your Nuneaton boroughs, so don't think that your money's being wasted. It's not. You're taking children off the streets, you're giving them skills, you're giving them values, which is what the youth setup does. You're then developing them into young men, which is what the under 18s do, and then they're proud to represent our community. And in return for that, if there's any sponsors out there, please sponsor us, because you don't have to put a lot of money in. You can get a board, you can get a match ball, sponsor a match. We've sponsored a couple of matches, we get good media coverage from it. You can take your clients with you, and the feedback we've had from our clients